I'd anticipate more offense, and see if they can build this thing around Drake May.
All right, so they took Will Campbell last night with the 4th overall selection. And we could sit here today and argue about whether or not Will Campbell's short arms matter, or whether or not Will Campbell's going to be a left tackle, or if he's going to have to move to guard, or if he's going to be a right tackle. But here's the good news. We've already done that for 3 months. I'm not sure there's a purpose in doing that today. I don't know that there is. I don't know that that should continue to be the conversation at this point. We've done it. You know where everybody stands. I also know that if we opened up the phone lines today and said, tell me what you think of the pick, we'd get 100 callers convincing themselves how great Will Campbell is now that he has been selected by the Patriots. Hundreds of callers we did not hear from over the last couple of months. So anyway, I don't really have any interest in doing it anymore. Arguing over the arm length, arguing over the T-Rex baby arms, spreading all the memes of the armadillo that he is. No shoulders. Built like an upside down V. We don't need to do it anymore. McCone, we've done it.
I don't know where Zoe keeps getting all these memes from, but nobody has more than he does right now, sending all of those.
Can I push back a little bit?
That was me last night.
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. Which one? The grimace one?
You want
yes,
credit?
That was me.
Oh, all right.
I
was like, where's this library of...
I did. Did I send you the armadillo one? I sent an armadillo one as well.
Yes, Phil, you can push back because Will Campbell can't.
Well played.
Fair.
I mean, you've been pushing
can I just
back.
push back? I think there are plenty of fans that aren't happy about this. I think there are plenty of fans that think he's a guard. I give the fans a little bit more credit, too, because it wasn't that long ago when the Patriots did take a guard. Everybody knew he was a guard in the first round, and it was universally panned at the time. You did not have media people and fans saying, oh, hey, this might work out. This seems like a good idea. It was from the moment the pick was made, it was deemed a bad pick.
But this is a better player.
Of course it is.
Right?
So I'm just saying, give the people a little bit more credit for not just rooting for the laundry.
I mean, he did get drafted in an area where he was going to get drafted in this draft. Like
He's
is not
a top 10 player.
Yeah, it's not a reach. It's not an overpick. It's none of those things. They took this player in an area where he was going to get picked, which is different from that scenario.
Yeah, I'm giving the people credit for not just blindly supporting whatever the team does.
I will tell you this, in an email from the Sports Geek. I can't tell you I'm completely familiar with their previous research, but they did some research on just social media reactions on Twitter, and they compiled the top 10 fan bases with the most negative reactions last night, and the Patriots finished 8th in the league. The number one team, can you guess the number one team with the most negative reactions?
Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns, by far, followed by the Steelers, Cowboys, Saints, Bears, Panthers, Jets, and then the Patriots. They were 8th in the league with the most negative social media reaction last night. So you're right. There are plenty of fans who do not like the pick. We've all stated what we were going to think about this pick. I'm out on the player. I'm out on the pick. So last night, as this all played out and he gets picked, I feel like there are things that were revealed over the course of the evening that have me questioning how much the Patriots truly like this pick and are in love with the player and the idea of drafting the player because of, the things they're saying, including Mike Vrabel saying that they would have listened to any and all offers that came their way. He told you. He's not even trying to hide it.
Of course.
That if there were offers, they were very much in on listening. That doesn't mean, hey, we were definitely going to trade the pick, but they were very open to offers. They revealed that the phone didn't ring. Phil, you were telling us that yesterday at this time. You were saying their phone is not ringing. Nobody is looking to get this pick from them. It's very quiet. And they've said as much, that the phones were quiet, but that they were very open to listening to any offers that were coming their way. In addition to that, we find out through a number of stories last night, and by the way, one of those stories included that the Patriots were interested in trading the pick. That was Chad Graff who reported that. but he also was one of the reporters who had the story of the Patriots making a secretive trip to go visit this player last week. They went and saw him last week after everything that had happened. Combine stuff, pro day, anything, all these opportunities to talk to players, and the visit to Foxborough. They felt the need to go have another visit with the player last week, to the point of Mike Vrabel strapping on the pad and getting knocked on his ass, and that being a part of the lovely, very well-packaged, cute story about the Patriots taking this player. Why that story was dropped so soon after this pick, you have to question that. Why are they selling us on the pick? Are they selling themselves on the pick? Did they have to go sell themselves on the player a week ago by visiting him in Louisiana? They all had to hop on the plane and go visit him one last time to make sure? Or was the phone not ringing? They got the sense they couldn't move the pick even though they wanted to, and they said, well, we better go make sure this is really what we want to do. And they had to go convince themselves by visiting him a week ago. If this kid was such a lock and they so badly wanted him and he was so perfect for Mike Vrabel, why were they down there a week ago visiting with him again? Tell me that. Tell me why you had to put the story out within minutes of this all happening last night when you picked this player. Why?
So what I would say is, first of all, it's not totally unusual. For example, last year, who was the consensus number one receiver in the draft class, was supposed to be this generational prospect, and he looks like he might be a pretty good player, but he was last year at this time, he was like a future Hall of Famer. It was Marvin Harrison, right? In any other draft, he might be a number, in a draft that wasn't so quarterback heavy, he might be a number one overall pick type of guy. The Cardinals are there at 4. They had a need at receiver. What do? Right before the draft, they flew out one more time to meet him, talk to him, get a feel for who he was again, and they end up making him their selection. So this kind of thing happens even for guys that are even more locked in as blue chip types of players than Will Campbell is. So that's number one. But number two, I think it's fair to ask the question, Beetle, but that's just, it speaks to the position the Patriots are in at 4 overall in a draft class that is lacking in sure things. So, yeah, you do as much research as you can. Yep, you get as many meetings in as you can. You get as much of a feel, both for the intangibles and a physical feel in Mike Vrabel's case, getting knocked on his ass by the guy. You get as many of those exposures as you can to feel as good as you can about the pick.
I think they were pinned in, and they took what they thought was the best option for them. They believe that this is the best option for them if they're making a pick at 4.
Yes.
I totally believe that. But I think they felt boxed in. I think they feel that they couldn't move the pick, and that's probably the truth.